broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard
Jenna Woolley with the American and Canadian national anthem. Terry Gregson, your referee. The Bruins are going to just get back to basics, back to the fundamentals, try to keep it simple. And there's Dan Maloney behind the Winnipeg Jets bench. Dale Harachuk, Jets captain. Well, they're trying to fix the rigging on top of the Winnipeg goal. Just making sure that the water bottle stays secured to the top of the net.
Okay, we're just about set for action. Unusual to see the home team start with a checking line. But the Bruins are starting Casper, Johnston, and Marquardt because they were the best line against Buffalo and accounted for a couple of goals. So Dan Maloney also counters with a checking line. Puck is in deep. Olsen trying to move it out. For checking is Greg Johnston. Around the boards, Milbury trying to contain it and can't do it. And Wilson breaks it out in the center ice. Stopped by Bork. It bounces away to Milbury. Milbury forced back by Jim Nill, the former Bruin. Around the boards, Ellett keeps it in. Shot missed the net. Long rebound. Marquardt can't get it. And Olsen a shot. And that is wild. Rebound again for Johnston, and he taps it out. And Boston makes a change. Olsen winding up in the center ice, stopped, and Simmer back over the line. Simmer trying to move in, checked on the play, and a trip on Crowder. They let that one go. Around the boards, the Bruins press to keep it in. Rooney is still out there as part of the checking line. Puck goes to center ice, and Linsman with it. Now back for Telvin. Telvin wraps it in. Back for Tim Waters, veteran defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets. Trying to move it out with Rooney, who is on the wrong side of the rink to be replaced, so he's still out there. Long shift. Simmer bounces. Crowder. Shot. Great chance. Bethune the save. And Crowder bounces toward the net. The puck is cleared, and Crowder beautifully set up for that scoring opportunity. Bruins won't get one much better. Bruins clear it. Back goes Waters. Icing call. This broadcast authorized by the Boston Bruins Hockey Club, solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, are the use of the accounts and descriptions of this game. Without the express written consent of the Boston Bruins, a TV 38 is prohibited.
Well, Bruins get the first good opportunity. Bouncing puck, but Keith Crowder hit it flush and got a good hard drive off on Berthiaume. And then was spilled into the cage, but Crowder, Simmer, and Linsman getting an opportunity. And Fred, that is the key tonight as much as anything. They have been struggling, and they know it. They're trying not to press. Maybe the power play goal that Linsman scored at the tail end of the Buffalo game, albeit it was window dressing on the final score, but maybe psychologically enough to get that line going.
And on the faceoff, Boschman, Larson takes a stick, goes down, puck cleared by Sweeney, and now the whistle by Gregson. A stick in the face to Reed Larson, and a very late call by Gregson, and of course, Winnipeg was pressing. And now Gregson is going to... Is he calling a penalty? Turnbull is coming over.
There it is on the right of the screen. You saw that stick go up on the side of Reed Larson's face. It was Perry Turnbull. He was trying to slow Larson down and hook him on the shoulder, but he got the stick too high, and it got Reed on the side of the face. Now,
but it was a slow whistle by Gregson.
Very slow. Now, if Reed Larson is bleeding, that'll be a 5-minute, and that may be what it is, Fred, because Turnbull's very upset with Gregson. It is 5-minute high sticking. Dan Maloney pretty upset. Obviously upset because it was a slow call, but then 5 minutes to boot. Double indemnity. There was no question that the stick was up. Terry Gregson was on the opposite side to make the call. The fact is that Reed Larson was cut, which automatically warrants 5 minutes.
And Boston has Rick Middleton out there, and quite a story in his own right. They had him written off for the entire season after he was hit by Chelios in Montreal. The Montreal doctor said fractured skull, and here he is, back in action.
Terry O'Reilly told me he spent that whole night after the Montreal game awake trying to figure out how to make 3 lines out of 8 players, because he was told that Tom McCarthy had kidney damage and broken ribs, and Middleton a fractured skull, and fortunately, poor diagnosis, as it turns out to be a very slight concussion for Middleton and just bruised back muscle for McCarthy, but bad enough to keep Mack out of action until the middle of next week.
And it is a 5-minute major. The puck is cleared by Marois. Bruins have Ray Bourque out with Michael Kelvin. And in deep, broken up, a shot and a great save. Oh, what a chance for Wilson, set up by Smales. Forechecking, moved right in on Bourque. Got the pass back to Wilson, and Keens came up with a big one. In the center ice, Sweeney is hit, checked quickly by Winnipeg. They have second-best penalty-killing team in the National Hockey League, and of course that's going to be a factor right here. Bruins need to capitalize on the opportunity of power play. In deep, wrapped around the boards, and cleared away by Marois. Boy, Smale came out quickly and really caused a lot of problems for Bourque. Back comes Linsman now over the line. Drop pass picked up by Telvin as he moved in quickly. In deep, Linsman checked. Now in the corner looking for skating room. Back for Bourque. Over to Telvin. In deep for Linsman. He's checked on the play, but didn't get it. Middleton, who's out with Linsman and Crowder. Bourque back at the line for Middleton. In for Linsman. Linsman failed to see that Crowder was cutting right for the net. What for in the corner? Olsen there, and he's able to clear it. And we have 3:30 left on the major. Perry Turnbull for high sticking. Reed Larson. And the Bruins looking for a shot. Out now comes Larson. Into center ice, skates over the line. Pass block, follow up Sweeney. Sweeney pokes it in deep, hit by Ellett. Fights for it with Simmer, Crowder. They battle in the corner. Sweeney in to help out, but he cleared it on the other side, and Ellett is there, and he's able to clear it out. And 2 minutes have gone by, and the Bruins without a shot. The only shot by them was Crowder's when the team were at full strength. Sweeney wraps it in. And Wilson trying to clear it out. Stopped by Bourque. Bourque cross for Sweeney. Sweeney in deep. Into the corner. Now to Neely. Neely trying to make a play behind the net. Drops it off for Middleton. Back for Bourque. Shot and a save. A great opportunity there. Bourque 30 feet away, and Bethune saves.
Well, that's what you have to do against this Winnipeg penalty killing unit. They like to pressure the points, and they react very quickly to the corners. So what you have to do is move the puck quickly. Now you see the one defenseman kite in deep. Quick pass, and Bork is closed down to the top of the corner. No chance for that forward to pressure the point as Bork got in close. They like to pressure the points, and if you can move the puck fast enough, you can collapse that zone out in front of the goal and get a more percentage shot. And that's exactly what the Bruins worked for that time with Bork getting the shot. But Berthiaume, good job, no rebound.
Lynn's been out there with Simmer and Neely. And the draw to Larson. He's checked, but Bork keeps it in. He's staying out there for the 5 minutes. His pass-up is stopped by Randy Carlyle. And Carlyle clears it all the way down to Keynes. We're down to 2:20 on the Boston major penalty, or the Winnipeg major penalty. Bruins with the advantage. And the long pass by Bork, broken up by Carlyle, and he clears it. Boston with just one shot on this opportunity. Winding up now, Linsman breaks. A lot of open ice for him. Over the line, draws the man, gives it to Simmer, and the play is offside. Charlie would have walked in alone.
Oh, no doubt about it, Fred. Simmer coming down the left wing. Nice pass from Kenny. But offside took it away, or Simmer would have skated right in alone on Berthiaume. No chance for the defenseman to get back in time. Had he tried to make a move towards Simmer, Crowder and Linsman were both ready to come down through the slot and down the right wing. Good situation for the Bruins. Unfortunately, the offside forces a face-off outside the zone.
And 1:56 left on the Boston power play. 15-16 left in the first period. Larson clears it in around the boards. Kelvin keeps it in. He's into the corner. Holding. Now behind the net for Marquardt. Marquardt can't handle the bouncing puck. Larson does. Wraps it back in for Casper in the corner. To the left of Berthiaume. Back to Larson. Larson. A shot tipped wide as Marquardt set up in front. Larson back at the point. Just able to keep it in. Now checked by Wilson. And Wilson clears it out. Wilson battles it up near the Boston line. Bruins trying to get control and make a play. And all the action on the boards. And out of it comes Smale. Smale over the line. And 1:13 left. A charging call coming up on the Bruins with 1:12 left on their power play. And with the score of Boston nothing, Winnipeg nothing, Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Wilson back to Nevin. Nails it right in front of the Bruin bench.
Each team short a man. And Winnipeg now. Steen holding it, keeping it in for Ellett. Ellett a shot, missed the net. Long rebound, Olofsson can't get it. Back to cover is Steen. Each team short a man, 53 seconds. It will be a Winnipeg power play. Olofsson, the defenseman, is rushing now. Over the line for Dale Howardchuk. Howardchuk, number 6 in scoring, turns the net. Passes to Olofsson. Olofsson try to set it up for Steen, can't do it. And the net dislodged. Says Gregson. The fans boo. The whistle blew. The face-off.
I think what happened, Fred, was that the bumping in the crease, the cage came up, but came right back down on the pins. But all Gregson saw was the cage come up, so he blew the whistle. Here it is with Olofsson going around the cage. Howardchuk. Olofsson tries to center it. And right before Olofsson could get back to the puck, they blew it dead because of the cage coming loose on the pins. Big kill for this Winnipeg penalty killing unit to kill off the first 3 minutes of a 5-minute major. And then, of course, the penalty to Nevin Marquardt eliminated the rest of the Bruin power play. The Bruins have just the 2 shots and just one while they had the advantage. Back to Carlyle. His shot is blocked by Ray Bork. And back for it, Tim Waters. In 28 seconds, Winnipeg gets the man advantage. As Marquardt and Turnbull are in the penalty box, and Randy Carlyle starts the way in the center ice. Trying to set up the play with Boschman. Boschman hit by Bork, broken up. Bork fell down. Keeping it in is McBain. McBain along the line. Allowed to skate in and shoot, and a big stop by Keynes. Just held the corner. Well out, top of the crease. Bruins break here. Bork
Now forced to clear it in. And right now, it's a power play for Winnipeg. 43 seconds left in that power play. 13-12 left in the first period. No score. Randy Carlyle. Pass up blocked by Mike Milbury and cleared away by Johnston. Larson is out with Peterson. Penalty killers, Casper and Johnston. 24 seconds left. And here's Harwachuk. A lead beautifully for Steen. Bearing in. Drops it off. Johnston broke it up. Big back-checking play. And the Bruins come right back. Casper coming on Waters. Coming up is Johnston. And he puts it in front. And Elliott just checked Johnston so he couldn't get a stick on it. 5 seconds left on the power play. Right back comes McLean. He is broken up by Reed Larson. And it's cleared out. Marquardt back on the ice. Peterson gets the puck. Pass stolen. McLean in. Shot. Save. McLean again. Scores on the rebound as he digs it out. McLean was stopped by Keens. A careless pass by Alan Peterson. And McLean gets an unassisted goal. 1-0 the Jets.
Well, people talk about Dale Harwachuk, but Paul McLean, dangerous scorer in his own right. Harwachuk's right winger. Rookie mistake by Peterson. Puck on McLean's stick. Keynes makes the initial save. Rebound, though, not controlled by Keynes, and no one can get to McLean in time to keep him off the puck. He'll dig it loose. There it is. Backhander. McLean gives Winnipeg a 1-0 lead. The goal coming at 7:36.
Boston still minus Tom McCarthy. He's got that rib injury. And Bob Sweeney out, centering Middleton now and Neely. Had icing called against Winnipeg. And from the Winnipeg Arena, the score, the Jets 1 and the Bruins 0. Teams at full strength, 1-0 the Jets. 8 minutes played. Shot here by Tellman is over the head of Berthiaume. And Carlisle breaks it out to Harwachuk. Harwachuk with Turnbull. Stopped by Tellman. Ochek broke it up and he clears it away. He takes a heavy hit from Neufeld. The Jets are hitting. Calvin again. A break here. Gives it off to Sweeney. Sweeney starts it back for Boston. Can't set up Middleton over the line. Now wraps it in. Around the boards. Waters starts it away. Lost it. Linsman's pass up. Broken up. The lines change. Wilson with it. He's broken up. And breaking Linsman. Good chance here with Crowder. Drops it for Crowder. Crowder. Slap shot. It is blocked by Waters. Centering pass to Bork. Cutting near the net. Couldn't put it on net. Marwar trying to clear it out. Stop. Bork. Linsman. Back for Crowder. Never got the shot away. And Steve Rooney from Canton, Mass. Providence College breaks it away to Wilson. Wilson checked by Bork. Broken up. Linsman trying to move it out. Stop. Jim Nill. Keeping it in. Bork behind the net. Drives it up for Simmers. Simmers starts it out. Looking for Milbury in the center. Milbury off of Crowder. Good pass. Milbury heads for the net. Puts it just wide of the net as he cut right up the middle. Milbury fights for it again. Keeps it in. Holds it in the corner. He's playing forward right now. But around the boards, Rooney with it. Rooney out to center ice and drives it back to the Boston end. Good rush by Mike Milbury up the center. Couldn't put it on net. Larson starting back. 1-0 the Jets. Larson over the line. Going, still going. Leaves it for Courtnall. The shot is blocked by Berthiaume. What a play by Larson. And Courtnall cut in on the left. Back now comes Miller. Can't put it in front for Courtnall. Steal by Miller again. Keeps it inside the line. Foster, Courtnall, and Miller battling hard. And the Jets are forced to clear it. Icing as Larson is back. And will return with more Bruins hockey. They break it out. A lead for Amel. Over the line. Slap shot. Babe Keens wasn't sure he had it. Here's Amel, ex-Buffalo Sabre, drilling that from the right wing side. Shot number 7 by the Jets.
Boy, Gilles Amel, who came over to Winnipeg in the deal that sent Scott Arneal to the Sabres, always seemed to be a pain in the neck to the Bruins when he played for Buffalo, and he was a real pain for Doug Keens to handle that time and drive from the top of the right circle, but handcuffed Keens.
9:53 left in the first period. McLean with the only score. Intercepted a Peterson pass, walked in, and put his rebound by Keens. Carlisle from the Winnipeg end. The Boston line is Casper, Johnston, and Marquardt. Larson breaks it up. Can't set a play with Casper. Right back comes Waters. Passes in. Breaking for it. Keene's out of the net away from Steen. Pokes it to the boards. Fought for in deep. McBain in the corner. Still a battle for it. Amel trying to get it. Casper trying to come up the boards, and he's checked on the play. Kept in by Neufeld. By McBain. Amel. Pass in front knocked away by Casper. Fought for in deep. McBain. Checks on the play. Larson fighting for it. The Jets keep it in, and the pass is missed by Amel. The net dislodged just as Marquardt started to break out. 9:04 left in the first period. The Jets in front. 1-0. This broadcast authorized by the Boston Bruins Hockey Club solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Boston Bruins or TV 38 is prohibited.
Well, Dan Maloney, with that concerned look, has to feel a whole lot better than he did about 10 minutes ago. Would have taken a hole early. Perry Turnbull off. 5-minute high sticking. But they did an excellent job giving the Bruins just one shot in 3 minutes of that power play.
Howard-Chuck out. Shot by Marois. Blocked. Cam Neely starts it back. On the go, Ray Bourque. Over the line. Drops it in deep. Middleton to the corner. Marois there. Bounces away. Sweeney tried to cut for the net. Couldn't get it. Middleton back for Bourque. The shot is high. And knocked away by Marois, who was shaken up by that one. Right back comes Milbury to fire it in. And taken over by Marois. Clears up for Smale. Howard-Chuck can't handle a pass. Taking over Ray Bourque. 1-0 Winnipeg. 8:25 left in the first period. Milbury trying to set up Sweeney. Can't do it. Smale tried to break. Smale gets it off to Howard-Chuck. It's blocked. Howard-Chuck shot checked by Simmer. Sweeney on it. Sweeney gets it to center ice. Well, it's covered by Smale, who spilled on the play. And Keene comes way out blocked. William Howard-Chuck trying to put it in front. And it deflects into the stands as Keene was out a mile. And Bruins hockey on TV 38 will continue in a moment.
And on the ice, it deflects off his stick and into the seats. Ooh, that threat goes by the boards.
On the faceoff, Boschman against Lensman. One for Telvin. Telvin trying to beat Boschman now and come out. His pass, Simmer has to cut back for it. Pass up to center ice is stopped, and Ellett takes over. Ellett away to Olsson. First-year Swedish defenseman, and he's played well. Number 4 for Winnipeg. Breaks it up to center ice. Fires in the Boston end as the Jets lead 1-0. Simmer trying to come back, and he's checked by Olsson on the boards. Fought for it. And breaks away, and a shot hit by Boschman, deflected over the net. Oh, he cut right in with a great chance for Winnipeg. Now Telvin starts it back. Up to Simmer. Simmer for Lindgren on the go. Lindgren checked by Ellett, gets over the line. Looks for a trailer. Simmer picks it up, goes deep, puts it near the net. Battling for it, Crowder can't do it. In deep, Lindgren trying to put it to Crowder near the net. It's fought for at the crease, and Berthiaume able to tie it up.
Boy, some heavy physical play in behind the net on Charlie Simmer, Fred. He and Boschman really got into it. With a break in the action, let's pause for station identification.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
Well, Charlie Simmer and Laurie Boschman exchanging views as they are skated away from behind. Danielle Berthiaume. Keith Crowder was on the side of the net trying to wedge it in. Boschman and Simmer. The high stick by Boschman goes uncalled, and then Simmer takes matters into his own hands, as well as taking Boschman into his own hands. Very good open field tackle by Simmer in behind the Winnipeg net.
The Boston line, Foster at center with Miller on the left and Courtnall on the right. Peterson and Larson, the face-off to the right of Berthiaume. 1-0 Winnipeg. And the draw to Waters. Waters for Steen, checked by Larson, fought for it, knocked out center ice. Breaking McBain has a threat on Peterson. The shot saved. Keene's screen shot, put it right on. Carlisle trying to keep it in. Does. Up for Steen. Steen hit by Larson. Back to get it, Jay Miller. Miller falls down. Amel comes out of the corner with it. In for Steen, trying to put it in front. And Amel wheels, fires, and tough angle, and he missed. And they had a pressure there. Out comes Courtnall. He's playing right wing. He fires it in wide. Leffield clears it into the corner, going for Foster. Foster hit in the corner. Amel able to clear it up on the left for Steen. And Winnipeg clears the zone. 6:25 left, first period. 1-0 Winnipeg. Paul McLean, the score. Back goes Mario Marois to start a play for the Jets. A quick clear-out is covered by Ray Bourque. Bourque over the line for Courtnall. Can't cut in. Broken up by Marois. Marois trying to clear. Bourque keeps it in again. Bounces across, and Casper tried to cut in alone, overskated it at the blue line. Had a chance momentarily. Just 2 inches. At the Boston end, Milbury now to Bourque. Out for Casper. He bats it in the zone. Rushing Courtnall, staying out there, but ahead of him is Marois, broken up. And it is Marquardt trying to center it, can't do it. Bourque moves in deep, clears it in the corner to Casper. They fight to keep it in. Bourque along the blue line. Check. Howard-Chuck breaks it out. A real threat. Johnston back on the fence. Checked him wide. Keane started out of the net. Johnston back to get it. Milbury. Now Bourque. Bourque checks Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck tries to center it. Can't do it. Kept in by McLean. Quick shot. Beautiful save by Keanes on Smale. Oh, what a chance he had. 5:17 left. 1-0 Winnipeg. Good, fast action between the two clubs. And Howard-Chuck, number 6 in scoring. What a threat he is. He clears it in. Keanes trying to wrap it up. Stopped by Turnbull. Turnbull across for Boschman. Save! Keanes dropped at the right moment. Boschman all alone on the right wing side.
Well, Doug Keanes is carrying this club right now. We'll talk about it when we come back with the score. Winnipeg 1, Boston nothing. Let's pause for this message. Experiencing the same kind of problems that have plagued him throughout this trip. Open man, Laurie Boschman wide open, but Keanes takes it away. Doug Smale also had an opportunity, point blank. But Keanes, good stick, left pad combination, cleared by Johnston. Right now, Winnipeg working well in the Boston zone. The Bruins are going to have to tighten up.
Olsen, a shot deflected wide of Keanes. In front of the net was Neufeld. Puck cleared away by Cam Neely. It's all the way to the Winnipeg end. No icing. Olsen with it. 4:45 left in the first period. McLean the only score. The shots 9. Winnipeg 3 for Boston. Kind of an indication of how it's been going. And a break now on the right wing side. Boschman in again, and again a skate save on a screen shot by Keanes. Just got it. And Boston forced just to clear it out. Back goes Olsen. Icing. And Boschman had another chance. 10 shots now.
Fred, the problem the Bruins are having is that Winnipeg is a good skating team. And you have to pick their forwards up just as they're coming out of their zone. You can't let them wheel out into center ice because they find open spots, the defensemen find them, and they have their wingers wide open moving in. The Bruins have to pick up Winnipeg's forwards back toward the Jet zone. Clint Eastwood is back, and you better watch out. Clint Eastwood stars in The Enforcer. Monday night at 8 on the Movie Loft here on WSBK TV 38.
Howard-Chuck out against Linsman now. The faceoff is to the right of Doug Keanes. Beaten only by McLean, who put in his own rebound after McLean stole on Alan Peterson. And has been about 4 or 5 one-on-ones, and Doug Keanes has been there. Bruins trying to work it out. Slow developing, finally do. Linsman, the center ice, a lead for Simmer is broken up by Ellen. Tipped center ice, Crowder right back for Simmer, trying to break in, may do it, is just stopped from behind by Carlisle. A major league defensive move by Randy Carlisle as Simmer seemed to have a bead on him. A step on him. Larson now forced to move it away quickly. The follow-up though by Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck along the line of Waters, and he has to go center ice for it. 3:48 left, first period. McLean the only score. Smale over the line is belted down by Alan Peterson and stopped completely. Peterson, Larson. They work it out by trading passes. But finally, Larson hadn't cleared the blue line. The pass to Simmer is offside. In the first period, the score, Winnipeg 1 and Boston nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Charlie to get that forehander off.
On the faceoff at the Boston line, it is Casper and Steen. 3:33 left in the first period. 1-0 Winnipeg. They've outshot Boston 10-3. Bruins on the road tomorrow night. They meet Minnesota. At center ice, Marois. Long shot. Knocked down, but the Jets were offside by the time he unloaded. So they call a faceoff outside the line. McBain is at right wing. Steen at center. And Gillamel is at left wing. The Boston line, Casper, Johnston, and Marquardt. Ray Bourque up for Johnston on the move. Drives it in the corner. The rebound, Marquardt overskates it. McBain clears it up. And a break by Steen. Over the line, watching Bourque. The shot missed. Boy, they've had a ton of shots in on the right wing by left-hand shots coming down. Boschman's had 2. Steen just had one there. Here's Bourque stealing. Over the line for Johnston. Trying to move in and broken up by Marois. Puck fought for in the Winnipeg corner. Bouncing puck in deep. Johnston checked on the play. Winnipeg checking beautifully in their end, giving Boston few opportunities. They have just 3 shots on Berthiaume. At center ice, McBain wraps it over the Boston line. Bourque seems to be able to be the only one to create that offense for Boston. Bourque winding up, and they watch him closely. Neufeld right on him. Up for Milbury. Milbury can't set the play. And the Jets break back. Perry Turnbull over the line. Screen shot wide. Rebound. Save. Keens. Again, a great chance on the second bid by Turnbull. And Keens keeping the Bruins within range. Winnipeg's now. Waters shot. Save. Save again on Boschman. 2 in a row by Keens. Carlisle keeps it in. Turnbull a backhander. Bourque blocked it. Waters moving in. A pass across the flop. Carlisle a screen shot. He missed. Oh, my goodness, the pressure. Doug Keens, the story there. Turnbull coming back, clearing in. The play is offside. A bombardment at the Boston end.
Well, the little man is playing a big role in keeping the Bruins in this. It should be 4-5-0 right now. Daniel Berthiaume trying to keep himself awake at the other end. Only 3 Bruin shots. But Winnipeg has 13. Turnbull will shoot wide, but get his own rebound. It comes off the boards hard, and he gets a good low wrist shot off, but Keens is ready. That was just the first of 3 straight shots on Keens. Larry Boschman also gets an opportunity on the Waters rebound. Well, I'll tell you, Fred, Keens looking sharp. This is the best he's looked in a couple of weeks. Of course, he's been injured, too, off and on. Awful tough to be hurt. Out for 2 or 3 weeks. Come back and expect to be as sharp as you were before the injury, but he looks like he was over the first half of the season. Razor sharp. Now, the Bruins have to give him a little support and get some offense going in the Winnipeg end.
1:52 left in the first period. 1-0 the Jets. Winding up Larson. Peterson can't connect. They wave off icing. Ellett right back for it. Around the boards, Larson trying to keep it in. Does. That was from the corner, but it's taken over now by Ellett. Olsen. And they work it out with Smale. Smale's pass stopped by Reed Larson. Right back, a lead for Crowder. Doesn't connect. Ellett broke that up. Just superb all-around play by the Jets. There's a steal by Linsman over the line. Cuts on the left. Now breaks in. Shoots. And a save by Berthiaume. Beautiful rush by Linsman. Got himself open. Berthiaume the save.
Let's go back to Sean McDonough in the studio right now for a preview of our first intermission.
Thanks, Dave. Coming up at
A big save by Daniel Berthiaume. The first one he's been called on to make in a while. Beautiful shift by Linsman around Olsen. Now he's got the forehander going for him. Far side, but taken away by the glove of Berthiaume. Fred, the Bruins have to shoot more, and the way Winnipeg is checking in their own end makes it difficult. That just means you have to work a little bit harder to get open.
The draw back to Bourque. Left point has to regroup for it, and the shot goes wide at Berthiaume. Along the boards, Milbury at the right point, battling to keep it in. He's broken up on the play by Neufeld. Winding up is Johnston. A clear in. Backward, the big defenseman, Jim Kite. And the Jets work it out. Udell the lead for Steen. Too far. Steen wraps it up. 40 seconds left. Smith keeps it on. A shot or Armel. Blocked. And out comes Casper. Casper flipping in. And Marquardt's all tangled up with Steen at the Boston end. The play continues at the Winnipeg end. Steal by Milbury. Moves for a shot. A save, Berthiaume. And it got dropped in his pads, which was a break for him. No rebound as Milbury gets shot number 5 for Boston.
Devin Marquardt and Thomas Steen. They'll go hard to the boards as Keens clears the rebound himself, steps aside, and leaves nothing but board and glass for Marquardt to take Steen into. And they'll get together, and they stayed like that pretty much up toward the top of the circle. And at the other end, Mike Milbury gets off a drive on Daniel Berthiaume. Berthiaume saw it the whole way and handled it. Fortunately for him, it rolled down in behind his pad and not out.
27 seconds left in the first period. 1-0 Winnipeg. Sweeney out with Middleton and Neely. Face-off is to the right of Berthiaume. Washburn on the face-off, and now Middleton will take it. One for defenseman Jim Kite. Cleared around for Turnbull. Passed out to center ice. Covered over the line. It is Ruppel the shot. Tipped wide. Fights for the rebound. Takes a hit in the corner from Neely. And the pass out is stopped center ice. Sweeney breaks with it for Middleton over the line. Middleton stopping, cutting. Behind the back for Neely. Neely in the corner. Holding in front. Knocked away by Berthiaume. And Larson couldn't contain it as the Bruins pressed in the final seconds. Stay tuned for our first intervention and the many 1-on-1 Pee Wee Championship game.
Benefit inter-squad game for the benefit of Mike Maruzzi, the Saugus high school hockey player who was injured in a game and paralyzed. And all the proceeds going to Mike Maruzzi. They'll be playing 2 30-minute halves. Terry O'Reilly will play on one of the teams and John Cuniff on the other. So do plan to come out Monday night. Bruins hope to come out with a little offense. They have Casper, Marquardt, and Johnston out. This is Ron Wilson ahead for Steve Rooney. He takes a bump as he slides it in behind Keens. Milbury looking for Marquardt, but he's checked by Waters, and they pin it for a face-off. Raymond Bourque out with Mike Milbury, Johnston, Casper, and Marquardt. Carlisle and Waters, the defense pairing with Wilson, Rooney, and Nill for Winnipeg.
When the intensity is there, it seems the game is completely there, too. The passing is good, the skating. They have an edge on the Bruins in that, and they're out-hitting Boston. Not clobbering them, but they're getting more good body checks than the Bruins are in retaliation or on their own.
Milbury skates it out with Greg Johnston, 2-on-2 as Milbury slides it into the corner. Waters back on it with Johnston in the forecheck. He clears, and this will be icing. Raymond Bourque back to touch up. Couldn't help but notice the scoreboard, Fred, between periods. Buffalo winning and Quebec losing, and could it happen?
Well, there's a glimmer of opportunity for Buffalo, but there were stats in a Canadian paper today that said with 20 games left, the status quo usually prevails. If you're down by 5 points, the odds of your trying to do it's been done only once or twice. If you're down by 4 or 3, of course, maybe a little better opportunity, but not much. The Bruins continue their road trip tomorrow. They face the Minnesota North Stars at 8:30. That's the Bruins and the North Stars and Dino Ciccarelli, 43 goals tomorrow night, TV 38.
The Dino Show. Oh, he's having himself an unbelievable season. One of those mystery folks that got left off the Rendezvous 87 roster.
Well, they wanted some checkers.
Casper on the draw. Quick shot by Marquardt, high and knocked down by Berthiaume. Ellett up ahead for Howardchuk. Return for Ellett on the move. Wrist shot, save Keens. Howardchuk overskates the rebound. Larson. Now intercepted by McLean for Howardchuk. Blocked and held on to by Peterson. It comes loose. No whistle, and Marquardt skates it out. Now Peterson with a good block. Point-blank shot by Dale Howardchuk. Greg Johnston tripped up by Olesen, and Frederick Olesen, the rookie, pushes it up ahead for Paul McLean. Smale shoots it in. Keens out to tap it away from McLean. Smale centering. Hawerchuk scores. Quick pass by Smale to Hawerchuk. And the ever-dangerous Dale Hawerchuk beat Doug Keens one-on-one.
Number 6 in scoring in the league, and you can see why. Watch him get rid of this shot when Smale puts it across to him, uncovered. Just too many one-on-ones, and not a chance for Keens. Maybe one error by Doug. Just prior to that play, he just got back in the net. He had started out again, and maybe a little overplaying, but he was back in the net, and he was in the center, and Hawerchuk picked the corner, and you can't do it better than that.
Fred, that almost looked like the occasion, third period in Toronto, where the defense went too far to the wing and left that center ice position open. That time, Hawerchuk all by himself. Kelvin with some help from Keens. Winnipeg now trying to put the heat on with some forechecking, and Linsman forced to clear. Carlisle and to spin away from Simmer, taps it out to center ice. Saline up to the line. Linsman shoots it in. Crowder and Carlisle go in. Crowder spinning Carlisle. They both go down. The puck underneath Randy Carlisle, and we've got a whistle. With the score, Winnipeg 2, Boston nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Well, it's called staying at home. No way should you leave a man this free in front of the net. Look at Hawerchuk all alone. And of all the players in Winnipeg that you would not want to be free, one-on-one with Doug Keens, alone in front of the net with a perfect pass from Smale, it's Dale Hawerchuk.
Laurie Boschman and Bob Sweeney to the left of Daniel Berthiaume. Sweeney won the draw, tried to move in, but it was knocked away. Ray Neufeld puts it right on the stick of Laurie Boschman. Boschman fires in on Keens. Glove. Keens will clear it around to Cam Neely. Neely tried to hit someone coming through center ice. There was no one there, and it's going to be icing against Boston. So they'll bring it back into the Bruins zone for a face-off as you look at Rick Middleton. Talked with Rick and asked him if he had seen the videotape of that hit and asked him if he thought there should have been a penalty. He said, well, he may not have tried to hit me, but I've seen guys get charging calls and boarding calls for less. But no bitterness expressed by Rick Middleton, just glad that it wasn't serious and glad to be back. Middleton out now with Neely and Sweeney. Milbury and Bourque at defense for Boston. Jim Kite fires, but wide. Keens may have gotten a little piece of the stick on it. Neely trying to work around the defense. Marwa checking Neely. They both go down. Bourque, wrist shot panned on it. Now it goes wide. Boschman is able to clear. Raymond in close with an opportunity, but couldn't get the wood on it. Neely checked by Marwa. Sweeney over to tap it into the Winnipeg zone. Kite off the boards for Neufeld. Good pass for Boschman. 2-on-1 with Turnbull. Turnbull in, shoots, saved by Keens. Milbury and Turnbull go to the corner. Middleton with the puck. Up ahead for Foster. For Neely onside. Neely had to wait for it. Now holds on with Olofsson checking, and Olofsson makes a good play and starts it out. Ahead for Neufeld. A little bit too far ahead for the right winger. Milbury and Neufeld bump. Puck comes loose for Raymond Bourque. For Foster. It's Miller in stride. Back for Foster. White Foster over the line. Watched by Hawerchuk. Dewey checked by Dale Hawerchuk. Puck comes loose. Courtnall with it. Tries to center. Is checked by Olofsson. Hawerchuk around the boards. Larson could not keep it in. Bumped by Smale. Hawerchuk tried to poke it away and go on stride. Couldn't. Miller for Foster. Dwight Foster winding up in his own zone ahead for Courtnall. Courtnall tried to hit Miller with a backhanded pass. It was intercepted and cleared. No icing called. Reed Larson in behind his own net. 2-0 Winnipeg. 16 minutes left to go, second period. Randy Carlisle lifted into the Boston zone. Reed Larson with it. Doug Smale into forecheck. Larson away from him easily. Ahead for Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall tried to backhand it into the zone and a breakout. Hawerchuk for Smale. Drops it off for McLean. Tried to set up Hawerchuk, and Nevin Marquardt got back to check him from behind. A good break for the Bruins, and here's Marquardt for Talene. Back for Marquardt. Couldn't handle the pass. Courtnall tries to tap it in. It's up on the side of the net. Waters trying to fend off Marquardt, and finally a whistle for a face-off in the Winnipeg end. From the Winnipeg Arena, the score, the Jets 2, Bruins nothing.
Again, but a drop pass there. Really a threat for Winnipeg.
Casper and Boschman, and Laurie Boschman wins it for Jim Kite. Jets lead it by 2. Bruins one shot this period so far. Winnipeg has outshot them 4-1. Michael Telvin and Mats Thelin out at the fence with Casper, Johnston, and Marquardt. This is Casper over the line for Marquardt. He'll take the shot. Glove save, Berthiaume. Good hard drive by Nevin, and Berthiaume robbed him.
One thing, Berthiaume is not giving up rebounds. The 2 shots in this period have both been taken by Nevin Marquardt, and they've both been on the money. One right off a face-off, a better threat than this one. But that was headed right for the corner. Marquardt, the slap shot, and Berthiaume the save, and he's got the glove out. But the Bruins, to this point now, they've played 25 minutes of hockey, and they have 7 shots. Let's see, 7 into 25. That's not too good at all as far as an offense is concerned, as they're dominated by Winnipeg. The Jets have outshot them 17-7 and lead 2-0.
Now you're talking about 17, 18 shots a game at that clip. Nevin Marquardt got on the team bus this afternoon, headed for the arena. Asked Terry O'Reilly, what do you say, power play tonight? The way he's shooting, that might not be a bad idea. Marwa for Neufeld. Ray Neufeld acquired in the deal for Dave Babbage last year. Unpopular deal at the time, but Winnipeg fans don't seem to mind it as much anymore. Marquardt for Casper. Shot partially blocked. Berthiaume steered it to the corner anyway. Turnbull for Mario Marwa fires it in wide. Turnbull and Bork race for it. Raymond wins that battle. Now Neufeld with the loose puck. Checked by Casper. Centers it. Keens leaves it. Milbury can't connect with Marquardt. No icing. Kite and Johnston back for it. Boschman checked by Milbury. Smale falls down at center ice. Larson looking for Johnston, but he was headed to the bench. And now Reed Larson and Ray Neufeld exchange a few opinions over by the Winnipeg bench. And now looks basically like a jersey tugging competition. Well, the linesman intercede before anything happens. We'll be getting a matching roughing call here. We'll return with more Boston Bruins hockey after this message.
Here it is, Neufeld in. He gives the hit to Larson, and then they go at it. A few punches, and mostly it was grabbing, and they each get 5 minutes for fighting. 14-14 left in the second period. Winnipeg in front, 2-0. Nevin Marquardt has the 2 shots for Boston. Made a beautiful rush down a moment ago and passed off to Casper, and Casper misfired from 30 feet. But the rush by Marquardt was a classic left-wing performance.
Klinsman, Simmer, Crowder. Telvin and Peterson out now on defense. Against Howardchuk, McLean, and Smale. Peterson, shot from the point wide. Berthiaume got a pad on it. Comes back to Peterson at the point. Fights to keep it in. Intercepted by Howardchuk and skated out. Long shot in on Keens. Knocked down, and Keens will clear himself off McLean's stick. Olsen with a shot. Save Keens. Rebound and a score. Doug Smale. A hard drive by Olsen. Keens made the stop. An uncovered Smale got the rebound. And Winnipeg increases its lead to 3-0.
Well, it's Keens trying to clear it here himself around the boards. It's kept in. And back at the point, Olsen, a hard shot. Good stop by Doug. But in no way can he handle that rebound as Smale is there. The drive in by Olsen, and Smale puts in the rebound. And Winnipeg with a very solid 3-0 lead now, with the score by Doug Smale, set up by Olsen.
Looked Fred like Smale even got a stick on Olsen's shot, which may have prevented Keens from doing something with the rebound. Sweeney hauled down by Boschman, no call. Kite Check by Middleton. Puck left for Marwa. He backhands it. Kept in by Bork. Neely backhands it to an open left wing. Middleton into forecheck with Neely. Harry Turnbull down the left wing. Has Boschman with him, trying to get around Bork, and Bork plays it perfectly. Milbury ahead for Neely. Pass intended for Sweeney, hopped over his stick. Mario Marwa back to the Winnipeg line for Turnbull. Harry Turnbull just back after being out for most of the season with a shoulder injury. Boschman shot blocked by Sweeney. Skated out by Bork for Neely. Neely ahead for Middleton. Couldn't connect. Rick tried to stay onside. Centering pass by Middleton, tipped away. Here comes Turnbull with Nil. Hit Nil in the back of the skate with the puck, and Neely is able to poke it back in the Winnipeg zone. Now cleared by Waters. Kelvin back to get it for Boston. 3-0 Winnipeg with 12:40 left to go, second period. Steen fires it right back into the Bruins zone. Takes a funny hop past Keynes. Kelvin can't clear. Amell picked it off. McBain battles Kelvin in the corner. Foster over to help out. McBain still poking at it. Amell falls down. Puck still loose. Kelvin finally up to Courtnall. Can't get around Randy Carlyle. Amell back on it for Winnipeg. And right back into the Boston zone. Peterson pokes it away, but on Amell's stick. Amell trying to center. Miller checked him nicely. Foster can't clear. McBain keeps it in. Winnipeg all over the Bruins in their end. Jay Miller couldn't connect with Dwight Foster. Randy Carlyle now at the Bruin line for Thomas Steen. Kelvin. Pass hopped over Alan Peterson's stick. Peterson's able to get back to it and flips down into the Winnipeg zone. No ice against the Bruins. On a change. Courtnall hits Carlyle. Waters picks up the puck. Back for Carlyle. Courtnall hitting everybody in sight down at the Winnipeg zone. Howardchuk tries to shift through. Does. In. Saved by Keynes on Dale Howardchuk. He split the defense. Courtnall right back for Boston. For Marquardt. Can't get around Olsen. Milbury keeps it in. Now taken by McLean. 3-on-1. McLean with Howardchuk and Snail. Shot it over the crossbar. McLean elected to shoot. And now a penalty, a cross-check being called.
Cross-check on Marquardt and a power play for Winnipeg. Bruins hockey on TV 38 will continue in a moment. Floats right through here. Yeah. Dale Howardchuk, what a brilliant rusher, and notice how the puck follows him. And Keynes robbed him in tight, and Ray Bork started back. Then Winnipeg coming out, and there was a delayed call on this one. The penalty coming up to Marquardt for cross-checking. And McLean, well, he simply had too much time, went for it on his own, and missed. And Kite nullifies what would have been a power play for Winnipeg. He came out, threw a punch at Marquardt. So we have Marquardt. Well, it's only Marquardt's penalty up there. They might have given him 2 for roughing with Kite.
That's what they did, Fred. Terry Gregson went over and said, "You misunderstood me. That's 2 each for roughing. And an extra 2 for a cross-check to Marquardt." So the Bruins, who have already been struggling for half a game now, trying to get 8 shots on Daniel Berthiaume, go short. 22-8. Winnipeg has outshot Boston. 9-3 in this period.
Their goals in the first period by Paul McLean, in the second by Howardchuk, and by Smale.
Courtnall will serve Marquardt's extra penalty. Johnston and Casper out to kill it with Bork and Milbury. Winnipeg has Steen skating left wing with McLean and Howardchuk. Olsen and Marwa, the points on this power play for Winnipeg. Frederick Olsen shoots it in. Howardchuk can't get to it. Bork is there for Johnston. Johnston is able to clear. Keep an eye on this Frederick Olsen, rookie defenseman out of Sweden. Excellent two-way rookie defenseman, and has a tremendous shot, which we saw earlier, that set up one goal. Steen backhands it into the Bruins zone. McLean racing with Milbury. Milbury gets there first. Steen in the corner, back for Marwa. Marwa with the shot. To the skate and went wide. Greg Johnston got a skate on it. Howardchuk down low. McLean. Back for Marwa. Olofsson hits it on the fly. Saved by Keynes. Oh, a great save by Keynes. He battled it. Casper out to center ice. Milbury is dumped and a penalty coming up. We're going to have a tripping call.
Well, the fans are groaning that the Bruins will get a power play chance as Olofsson goes out for tripping Milbury, and Casper trying to set up his Casper making the pass. There's Olofsson, and Milbury did a little dancing and a little flipping, and it will be a penalty. 53 seconds left on Marquardt as Olofsson goes in, and the Bruins will have a power play. The Bruins had a power play right at the start of the game, a major called against Turnbull, and they only had one shot in approximately 4 minutes. Then a penalty to Marquardt nullified the final minute. But Boston really did not have an effective power play going. So they'll get their second opportunity, however brief it is, for 1 minute and 7 seconds after Marquardt comes out. Winnipeg in front, 3-0. And Boston unable to sustain any offense on Berthiaume. Some good opportunities, some good shots out of the 8, but no rebounds.
Terry O'Reilly has Sweeney and Neely out as the forwards. Peterson and Kelvin now paired with Reed Larson still in the box. Carlisle and Waters with McBain and Boschman for Winnipeg. 40 seconds. Marquardt will be out. Bruins will have the power play. Carlisle feeds it through to Waters. McBain can't handle the pass. Carlisle can't. Neely comes away with it. Having trouble with it, though. Feeds Sweeney. His shot. Wide. Hits the boards and hits the back of the net. Carlisle back for it. Neely was dumped in behind the Winnipeg zone. It's a 4-on-3. McBain trying to move in. Broken up by Alan Peterson. Pass intended for Waters. Intercepted by Neely. Michael Kelvin and Neely. 2-on-2. Kelvin over the line. Holding. Slips it out in front. Neely knocked down Waters. You can't get the shot on. Neely still out in front. Shot and a save by Berthiaume. Cam Neely, great individual effort, kept it alive, but couldn't finish it off.
Neely doing everything but scoring as the Bruins just start right now on their power play. But it was Neely with the bouncing puck off to the right of Berthiaume, and finally he lined it up from about 12 feet.
And Berthiaume for Winnipeg, but they're leading 3-0. They don't need a good break. Bork for Linsman. Linsman out with Larson, Bork, Simmer, and Crowder. Smale and Wilson doing a good job killing this penalty in the Boston zone. Wilson had broken up Larson. Now Linsman for Bork on the Bruin power play. Having a tough time getting started. Linsman over the line for Crowder. Back for Bork. It was poked away by Smale. He has Wilson breaking. Taps it ahead, too far ahead for Wilson. Bork was getting back, but Wilson would have had a chance. Bork now starts it back for Larson. Larson shoots it in on Berthiaume. Marwa wheels and fires down into the Boston end of the ring. 10 seconds left to go on this Bruin power play. Larson being checked. Out in front, nil. Save Keynes. Set up by Andrew McBain. And the power play is up. Thank goodness Winnipeg had the scoring chance. Waters for nil. Intercepted by Larson, but Waters has it back and clears. This will be icing. They wave it off. They waved it off as it slowed down as it got to the line. Casper tried to pass it through. Has Johnston. Back for Bork. Mats Talin. Pass hopped over the stick of Casper. Rooney. Passes to himself off the boards, but broken up. Talin trying to move and does. Shoots it in. Berthiaume for Carlisle. For Paul McLean. Steve Rooney now skating left wing with Howardchuk. This is Howardchuk. He has a goal. Pass intended for Rooney, intercepted by Telvin. Off of Courtnall's stick to Olesen. Rooney shoots it in. Killeen back on it. Takes a funny hop off the board from Marwa for Neufeld. He was checked by Killeen. Courtnall too far ahead for Sweeney. Killeen and Neufeld poke at it. And it's Telvin. Ahead for Sweeney. Shoots it in wide of Bertium. Olesen back on it for the Jets, fanned on it. Sweeney for Neely. Didn't have any steam on it. Ellett got a piece of the stick on the puck to slow it down. Middleton couldn't control. Neufeld away for Winnipeg. For Ellett. Ellett fires in. Peterson hit by Neufeld. Sweeney around the boards for Neely. Neely checked by Ellett. Cam, good pass from Middleton. Middleton checked by Olesen and taken off the puck. Laurie Boxman on the wing for Turnbull. Turnbull winds up, fires, and a save by Keane. Larson clears, but not out of the zone. Kite keeps it in. Centering pass. Neufeld shot it wide. All Winnipeg. Neufeld in deep for Boxman. Centering pass. Linsman can't clear. Kite keeps it in. Neufeld for Boxman. Turnbull fanned on it. Middleton looking for Neely. Neely batted it into the Bruins bench. 5:26 left to go, second period with the score. Winnipeg 3, Boston nothing. Let's pause for this message. The draw, Milbury. Tries to sweep it ahead to Crowder. Amell takes it offside. McBain. Well, that would have been another 3-on-2. Doug Keane probably thinks he has a vision problem. Fred, seeing double every time he looks up.
Now that shot unloaded by Perry Turnbull had plenty on it, even though it was from about 45 feet out on the left wing. Looking at Dan Maloney, he left Toronto, and Harold Ballard, but they wouldn't give him a multi-year contract, and he's doing a fine job with Winnipeg.
Steen wins it, but Simmer keeps it away from McBain. Now Port for Simmer off his stick to Carlisle, who shoots it in. Mike Milbury away from McBain to Port, and Raymond just wheels and backhands one the length of the ice, and this will be icing.
Well, the score indicates it, and the shots. You don't have to say anything else. But you look at the Bruins in their end, and there's Winnipeg right on top of them. And Winnipeg has been particularly effective killing penalties. Now to break in the action, let's pause for station identification.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
Bruins haven't had that many penalties. It's total 5 minutes. They've had one shot. That's the story of the game right there.
Hard to believe. 5 minutes with a man advantage and one shot. Bruins, fortunately, are doing some good penalty killing on their own. Waters. Shot hit a skate. Took a funny bounce off the corner, and Keynes had to come out to put a glove on it to get a face-on. The Bruins penalty killers have done an excellent job, Fred, on this road trip. It's the power play that just can't get anything going. It's a major problem, and nowadays in the NHL, if you're not good on the teams, it'll reflect on the standings.
Well, the point seems to be the power play is not even producing the shots, the opportunities. Sometimes you can be stoned by the goaltender. But the Bruins with one shot in 5 minutes with a man advantage, that's a poor offense.
False start. John D'Amico will have to drop it again. Casper, Johnston, and Marquardt. Craig Johnston had a goal and an assist the other night to get the Bruins back into the game in Buffalo. Bork trying to get away from Jim Nill. Drops it in the corner where Ron Wilson has it. Casper hustling. Battling Nill for it. Rooney. Blind pass on Johnson's stick from Marquardt. Now from Milbury. Mike fires it around the boards. Oh, it hit the dasher, took a funny hop up over the glass.
Well, that's the way it's been going, and the infrequent opportunities of the Bruins when they move down, either they've made a careless pass, or Winnipeg, very alert, has intercepted, or in that opportunity there, it looked like almost a 3-on-2 coming out as Rooney made a bad pass with his team leading 3-0. It sent Boston away in the interception, but Milbury's shot hit the dasher and then went into the stands, and that, of course, ended the play right there. The faceoff will be outside the Winnipeg line. 4:35 left in the second period. Winnipeg 3 and Boston nothing.
Wilson between Nill and Rooney, and now Foster with Miller on the left and Courtnall on the right out for Boston. Kelvin and Deline at defense for the Bees. Kite and Marwa for Winnipeg. This is Marwa. And Kite, 6'5" defenseman, checked by Courtnall, but can't make a play. Courtnall and Kite go to the corner. Courtnall keeps Kite off the puck, but it goes to Marwa. Under the stick of Wilson, breaking with Rooney. Steve Rooney fires high off the glass. Deline trying to clear, can't now. Mats Deline comes out of the zone, being checked by Nill. Miller for Courtnall. Courtnall trying to get around Marwa. Quick shot, went wide. Rooney taps it out into the Boston zone. I don't think this has enough steam. No icing. Deline back on it. That's Deline. Hit Miller in the skate. Wasn't looking for the pass. Deline now around Smale. Loses it at the line. Howardchuk. Ahead for Smale. Has McLean trailing. Here's McLean. Shot. Saved by Keynes, and he holds on. Good save by Doug Keynes. The rebound fell at his feet. He was quick to cover up. In the second period, the score is Winnipeg 3, Boston nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
You had it all the way on Paul McLean.
Well, there aren't many alive today that can say they know what it felt like to be Custer, but I think Doug Keynes certainly has an idea. Neely can't clear the zone. Smale looking for McLean. Couldn't connect. Olsen fan. Neely with it. Looking for Sweeney. Pass behind him. Shot right back into the Boston zone. Reed Larson. Pass knocked down by McLean. Taps it ahead for Howardchuk. Howardchuk between Larson and Peterson. Knocked down. No call. The crowd wants a penalty. McLean for Smale. On the backhand for Howardchuk. Knocked away. Good play by Bob Sweeney. He had McLean covered. Howardchuk pinned and then knocked down by Peterson. The rookies doing a decent job in the Boston end. Al Peterson skates it out. Shoots it in. And an offside call is made.
Well, that's the way it goes. An offside. Back to Sean McDonough. Studio preview of our second intermission.
Thanks, Fred. Coming up at the end of the second period, Dave has an interview with Bruins coach Terry O'Reilly. We'll play hockey trivia and give you a chance to call in and win 2 Bruins tickets. Dana Hersey tells us what's coming up next week on the Movie Loft, and Fred and Dave take us through the second period lowlights.
Al Peterson on defense. Checking the play, a little bit of holding. That ties things up.
Carlisle hit by Crowder. Puck shot back into the Winnipeg zone. Linsman into forecheck on Waters. They go down. Waters just grabs it and drags it under his body. No call. That's the second time that Tim Waters has done that.
Well, the
linesman in the crease.
The linesman should help out and call that one. His angle to it was just the same as ours. You'll see Waters reach out and tie it up. And looking at the score, you could give the Bruins a power play here with 2:33 left, but Gregson, from his angle, probably couldn't see it. The linesman could and might have helped out, but never said a word. And the faceoff will be to the left of Berthiaume.
Linsman and Boschman will take the faceoff to the left of Daniel Berthiaume. Simmer back for Bork. Raymond's shot blocked by Turnbull. And Turnbull gets the rebound. Is checked by Crowder. Bork, good play at the line to keep it in. Simmer on his knees, couldn't sweep it out in front to Linsman. Marwa for Turnbull. Out to neutral ice. Boschman battles Bork. Not Turnbull. Raymond ahead for Crowder. Now Bork. Return pass. Looking for Linsman. Linsman in. Shot it wide. Good setup. Milbury His shot was blocked. Marwa clears at the length of the ice. No icing. It just went through the very edge of that half crease. Borg back on it for the Bruins. 1:50 left to go, second period. B's down by 3. Milbury around the boards. Casper can't keep it in. Here come the Jets. Thomas Steen. Well, that little fake by Steen put Jalen L offside. Crowd didn't think it was offside, and Thomas Steen didn't either, but Amell just a half stride in ahead of the play.
Ken Linsman with a great opportunity from Ray Bork, and Ken looked up and tried to just pick the far side, and he missed the net. Didn't even get it on Bertillon, but it was a beautiful setup from Ray Bork. And when the Bruins have scored goals recently, it's been Raymond Bork creating the situation. Going back to the Bruins, they've had 4 shots in this period, 2 of them coming early by Nevin Marquardt. They were 2 beauties, so you've got to understand that Winnipeg has been dominating this game as much in the second period as the first.
Marquardt takes a hit from Waters. It's Carlisle in the Winnipeg zone. Randy Carlisle on the move. Shoots it in off of Colleen's stick. McBain in after it. Colleen taps it away from him. It hit Gregson. Waters kept it in at the point. Now Michael Talbot fires at the length of the ice, and this will be icing. Whereas Carlisle Marwa caught the edge of the crease and did not get an icing call. Telvin missed it by just that much and did get icing.
Second period almost over. These are the worst 2 periods that the Bruins have put together under the administration and coaching of Terry O'Reilly. These are back-to-back periods of very, very little effort offensively. And it's hard to believe that Winnipeg, a team that the Bruins have beaten twice, although Ranford stole a game here early in the season, hard to believe that Winnipeg...
The head from Marquardt. Nevin rolls it in on Bertillon, and he covers up quickly with Sweeney coming in looking for a rebound. There's Nevin. Sharpshooter tonight.
I tell you, Nevin's been moving up and down that left wing. He's had the 2 best opportunities out of the 4 in this second period. But you see, they're so infrequent, only 4 shots. You can remember clearly every detail, the great chance that Boston had. It turned out to be Nevin Marquardt. The best opportunity was Ken Linsman, even better than the 2 by Marquardt, and he didn't put it on net when set up by Ray Bork. 1:01 left in the second period. Winnipeg, 26 shots, Boston 9.
Oh, Greg Johnston now centering Neely and Linsman as Terry O'Reilly tries something different just to shake things up, try to get a little offense before this one's over. Larson kept it in, Kite on it. He'll try to clear, and does. Al Peterson couldn't keep it in at the point. Larson for Johnston. Tried to hit Middleton, pass behind him. Marwa. Cowlington hit by Neely. Neely kicks it out, sprawling. Greg Johnston couldn't keep it in. Reed Larson's back on it at the Boston line. From Middleton. Middleton just lets it go as Marwa was up to check it. It's an offside pass. Greg Johnston thought he was onside. Middleton thought it was going to be onside.
Well, Middleton was onside, but he let it go. And he figured Larson was over that blue line, but not to be. His skates were inside, and it is an offside pass. Those little details not being finished off by the Bruins. Greg Johnston played center when he was with the Marlboros in junior hockey, so he's had experience at center, although this year mostly he's been a right winger and a penalty killer. He's at center now with Middleton left and Neely on the right.
Ron Wilson wins the faceoff. Dave Ellett fires it back in around the boards. Bork, good pass out for Johnston, trying to poke it ahead to Neely, but Ellett broke it up, and Ron Wilson right back. Nil in the slot. Wilson's backhander, short side missed. It was high. Larson ahead for Johnston for Neely. Neely tries to fake around Ellett. Ellett didn't take the fake. Centering pass. Middleton couldn't get a stick on it. The horn sounds, and we have come to the end of the second period. Stay tuned for our second intermission, featuring an interview with Terry O'Reilly from the Winnipeg Arena. The score is Jets 3, Bruins nothing.
Set by Bruins goaltenders. In 1971-72, Jerry Cheevers went 32 consecutive games without a loss. And Gilles Gilbert also set an NHL record by winning 17 straight in the 75-76 season. Tonight's question, who was the last goaltender to win the Hart Trophy as the NHL's most valuable player?
He must have. His arm underneath.
What a bad break. Neely tried to go right between the pads. Hey, this is one of these nights where you write off it. Boy, do you remember that nightmare back in February? Try to forget these games real quickly. Of course, there's still 20 minutes left, and who knows?
Great confrontation in New York, Buffalo and the Rangers. Phil Esposito took over the Rangers and fired Ted Sater.
Yep.
And Sater went to Demers of
Tim Waters here in Winnipeg. That's when all the Peter Klima rumors started.
Underway, third period. 3-0 Winnipeg. Bork trying to move it, stopped by Waters. And Waters wraps it in around the boards. Batted to the other corner. Wilson checking there. Neal is out, and Rooney. That's the checking line for Winnipeg. They've started each of the 3 periods. Milbury is checked. Wilson drops it in front. Skated off now by Sweeney. And he overskates a Bork quick pass. Puck floats in. Keynes pokes it away. And back now comes Marquardt. Or Casper. With Sweeney at right wing. And Waters upends Marquardt. And the fans roar. Here comes Larson. Almost all the way. And just spilled at the last second by Carlisle. And Dale Hawerchuk out. He has one of the 3 Winnipeg goals. Trying to go it alone, and he's bumped away by Alan Peterson. Right back comes Casper. Picking up Courtnall. Terry O'Reilly has shaken up the lines. Trying to get something going. Courtnall steals with Foster. Goes for the shot and misses. Tough angle. Rebound center ice. Larson back. Up for Simmer. And that one is called offside.
Dwight Foster on now to center Charlie Simmer and Jeff Courtnall. We saw signs toward the end of the second period that Terry O'Reilly was just going to start dipping into the hat, pulling out numbers when he had Greg Johnston out between Rick Middleton and Cam Neely, hoping that he could come up with the right combination. Look at this hip check by Tim Waters. What a beauty. Got position. Strong leg, strong back. Nevin Marquardt down and out.
This is the line that's accounted for all the goals for Winnipeg. Out now comes Courtnall. A clear in. Simmer in. No icing. Has it. The corner in front. Shot. Score! Courtnall! Set up by Charlie Simmer. And the Bruins get on the board quickly in the third period and trail 3-1.
Boy, that's going to pump some life into that Bruin bench, Fred. A big goal coming early in the period. Simmer. Nice play. Watch Charlie make a nice play here as he goes in after it. He'll tap it away from the defenseman. Right there. Now he's in position. Makes the good pass to Courtnall, who was coming in through the slot. And Courtnall went up high under the crossbar. No mistake. The Bruins are on the board. 3-1 Winnipeg. The goal coming at 1:37.
It might have been icy. Courtnall cleared it from near the Boston blue line, but Simmer had the jump and prevented the icing. I say might have been. I'm not sure. At any rate, Simmer made the perfect pass, and Courtnall came up to fire it home. Over the line, it is Linsman wrapping it in now. And the complexion changes as it is 3-1 for Winnipeg, but Boston now, a quick score at the start of the third period. In deep, Miller checking the play. Winding up is Perry Turnbull. Ryan for Neufeld, stop, shot by Linsman, and he missed wide from 45 feet on the left wing. Boschman clears it out. Pass up for Turnbull. He is hit and spilled by Mats Thelin. Play offside.
Jeff Courtnall. Boy, what a big goal that is. Bruins, through 2 periods, could only manage 9 shots on goal, just 4 in the second period.
I remember that imbalance in Winnipeg, and these players haven't scored because they spend their time checking. Everybody checks, and the Smale, Howachuk, McLean line does the scoring. That's what their point totals indicate. Johnston is at center, Neely on the right and Middleton on the left, and Waters trying to clear it out. Stop, left point by Milbury. Wrap back in. Randy Carlisle takes over. Can't clear it out. Stopped by Bork. Puts it in. High shot. Save Bethune. Off the right shoulder on that one. A quick drive in by Raymond Bork. Puck cleared. Keens leaving it for Milbury. Up. Kept in by Carlisle. Wraps it in deep. Milbury hit. Bork takes over. Now to Middleton. Looking for Neely. Off his stick. Goes over the line. Olesen back to clear it away quickly for Winnipeg. Steen hit it center ice. Puck goes loose, taken over by Olesen. He's good offensively, big shot, but he's broken up by Peterson. They go hard to the boards, and puck picked up now by Amel. Back to Ellett. Back up for a quick shot by McBain, blocked, and out comes Larson. Can't set up a play, Boston changing up. Olesen back, drives wide of Doug Keens. Long rebound. It is Casper. Over the line, going deep. In the corner, in front, and Sweeney was checked on the play, couldn't get a stick on it. And a quick clear out by Winnipeg as the Bruins playing their best. Third period here, but this is a checking Winnipeg team. And Howachuk trying to break over the line. The line to watch now. That Howachuk line. Past the Smale over the line, the shot scores! Smale from Howachuk, and it is 4-1.
Well, Doug Keene came out to challenge, but Doug Smale, who skates so well, gets off a good drive. Not much to shoot at. Keene had the angle cut down fairly well, but Smale got off a hard drive. Perfect spot. Rising shot, glove side. Keene's leaning a little bit short side. That's Smale's second goal of the night. Fred, you know, sir, to get the words out of your mouth.
Well, they have to check him, and you just have to sit on them, and then you go at the rest of the lines the way they're set up. And what a play that Howachuk made at center ice. A soft lead pass for Smale. He's the member of the line who's not the goal scorer. Courtnall trying to move, and a penalty call. And a power play for Boston, and with the score, Winnipeg 4, Boston 1. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Checks out fine. Everything's okay. It takes a lot of teamwork at Delta to give you the best service. And as a mechanic, I make sure everything's ready to go. All with one thing in mind, a safe, comfortable flight. Hey, Bob. We take a lot of pride in what we do.
And in their third power play of the night, they had a 5-minute major and then a 1-minute power play in the second period.
Winding up, Ken Lensman. Off for Bork. Bork wraps it in. Kicked out by Bethune. Tight. Able to clear it around. And out. Keens forced to play it. Smale down the forecheck. In the center ice, Lensman is bumped on the play. Bork gets the loose puck by one man. Off for Telvin. Telvin over the line. Trying to put it in front softly, but he put it on the stick of Marois, and it's cleared out. Winding up Ray Bork. 5 minutes into the third period. 4-1 the Jets. Lensman over the line. Gets a screen from Simmer. Puts it to Crowder. He's checked. Drops it for Bork. Hits it on the go, and it's deflected into the stands by McBain.
Don't want you to forget the Horizons for Youth Salute to the Bruins dinner at the Caruso Diplomat in Saugus on March 9th. It includes full-course dinner, an autograph and photo sessions with the Bruins. Proceeds going to the Horizons for Youth to provide outdoor programs for needy youngsters. For more information, call 617-828-7550 for ticket information.
14:53 left in the third period. The Jets in front of the Bruins 4-1. Boston on a power play. 1:11 left on the penalty to Boschman. Johnston at center in the shake-up of lines by Terry O'Reilly. Middleton and Neely on the wings. The draw to Winnipeg and the clear out. And Wilson right on top of Bork, in deep. Bork plays it around for Larson. Larson is broken up by Wilson, who just moved on him. And Nill forechecks the play, and the Bruins can't get started in their end. Neely tries it now. Stopped by Nill. Puck to Wilson. And those two players just not letting the Bruins get out of the zone. Killed off about 25 seconds. Johnston ahead for Middleton, trying to break in and get a handle to it. It was checked by Kite and is kept in by Johnston. Back for Bork, wheels, fires, and it's blocked by Nill. Kept in by Larson. Big block by Nill. Off for Bork again. Now Reed Larson. Tipped by Neely on Larson's shot, and it went over the net. That's the only real chance Boston's had around the boards. Larson, right point, able to keep it in. Up for Neely. Neely can't set up the play. Nill able to clear it out. And that'll do it on the penalty. 4 seconds left. Bork rushes over the line. Gets by Carlisle. Drops it back for Larson. Larson in for Casper. In front. No, Sweeney can't collect it. His back was to the play. Full strength, Winnipeg. Here's Carlisle with a shot and a save and a rebound. Smale gets number 2. Number 3, a hat trick for Smale to make it 5-1.
Well, Doug Smale has been Johnny on the spot tonight for Winnipeg. Right place, right time. At cert 137 into the period, Courtnall's goal, but now the Jets have scored 2 by Smale. And with 13:20 left, Bruins, a lot of work to do.
Sweeney moving on Carlisle, checking the play. Battles keeps it in, but Marquand missed it. And Nill breaks it out over the line and clears it in deep. Smale a hat trick, Howarchuk and McLean the other goals, and McLean has 3 assists. A goal and 3 assists on a 5-1 lead. And you look at the stat sheet, that's the line you have to stop. Bruins battling now, 12:45 left in the third period. Howarchuk couldn't get the pass up in deep. A steal by Courtnall, couldn't control it. And the puck cleared out. Peterson with it. Trying to flip it back over the line. He's checked along the line. Battling McLean. Olesen fires it down. Keens fires it right out to Alan Peterson. Kite intercepts a Boston pass. Perfect pass on the right wing side. And McLean tried to set up Howarchuk. Couldn't do it. Around the boards. Peterson starting it out. Checked immediately by Smale. And we're in the third period with the score. Winnipeg 5 and Boston 1. We'll be back after this message. 37 goals for Howarchuk, 27 for McLean. As the Bruins battle now, and they set up a play. Crowd are broken up, and Carlisle gets control. Off for Waters. Neufeld, Boschman break it back and flip it in the Bruins end, and Keens way out. Clears it around for Ray Bork. Up for Linsman. Breaks with Miller. Linsman made the dribble at the blue line as Miller was bearing in on the left wing. Terry O'Reilly has shaken up his lines. This line has Crowder at right wing, Jay Miller at left wing, and Linsman at center.
Well, Jay always wanted to be on a scoring line, Fred. His big opportunity. Almost had Kenny had him going in alone, but Linsman hesitated right at the line. Miller was headed under a full head of steam into the zone.
Hamel clears it in. Back for Telvin. Away to Cam Neely, and Neely broken up at center ice. Gets it back on the right wing boards. Check. Loses to Kite. Kite drives it in the Boston zone. Tallene back for it. 5-1 the Jets. 3 goals in a row by Doug Smale after McLean and Howarchuk scored the first 2. Mauer breaks it up. Clears it out. Sullivan brought it back in, and the play offside. We'll return with more Bruins hockey after this message. Inside the Winnipeg line, Winnipeg has 3 shots and 2 scores in this period. Boston 3 shots and 1 score. Keane clears it up, not out. And finally controlled and worked out to Rick Middleton from Neely. Flip in wide, going for it. Neely checked on the play in front of the net. Middleton couldn't put a handle to it to get the shot off. And the Jets' Howardchuk is out. Off for McLean. Offside, Doug Smale. Looking for whatever comes after a hat trick.
He's hungry. Boy, he was headed right for the net. Yelling, "Hey, Paul, here I am." McLean couldn't put on the brakes in time or couldn't get the puck over in time. Smale. Boy, can he fly. I suppose you have to get to be philosophical at this point, Fred. That maybe it's a good thing that everybody is having a bad stretch. Maybe they'll all come back together at the same time and get hot at once.
Terry O'Reilly shaking up his lines. Bruins started quickly on a good score by Jeff Courtnall to make it 3-1. Put him within range, but Smale has taken care of that by making it 5-1 now with 10:27 left in the game. Waters clears it in. Back is Ray Bork. Up for Casper. Bork on the move, too. 4 men rushing. Sweeney on the right. Over the line, Casper. Back for Bork, and Bork is checked immediately on the play by Turnbull. And out comes Boschman. Boschman pokes it in deep. Around the boards, Waters able to keep it in. For Boschman in front. And the shot missed. Misfired by Neufeld. And now Sweeney in his first entanglement. Jammed in the corner.
Well, I can't see who it is, but my guess is it's Perry Turnbull, and he picked a tough critter to go after in his first NHL fight. Turnbull's about 6'2", 205. He goes through you rather than go around you.
That's Turnbull on the bottom. Yep.
Bob picked out a heavyweight. he didn't bother with any welterweights.
Bruins hockey on TV 38 will continue in a moment.
I was 10 years old.
2 minutes for roughing as he goes hard and high into Perry Turnbull. Turnbull gets the elbow up. And Sweeney says, "Come on." Now look, the arm goes up on the elbow, yet Sweeney gets the call for roughing. Oh, well. Hey, look. It's one of those nights. You just can't expect it to be much differently. No real punches exchanged. Sweeney and Perry Turnbull. Dudley's coming at 10:09. 9:51 away from the end of this one.
Winnipeg has played a superb game, but you have to look at the imbalance with one line as the scoring line. So Dan Maloney on this power play sends out another wave. It's Neufeld, Boschman, and Turnbull. Puck is cleared by Ray Bork. Boston shorthanded. Carlisle back for it. 9:40 left, third period. At a 5-1 lead for the Jets. Sparked by Doug Smale with a hat trick. This pass is behind Turnbull, and the play called offside. Bruins are in Minnesota tomorrow night, and on the scoreboard, Buffalo beat New York 6-3.
Thinking about the North Stars tomorrow night, we'll have for you at 8:30 face-off, and the Bruins will finish up this 6-game road trip in Hartford against the Whalers next Wednesday night at 7:30. Breakaway with the Bruins on TV 38.
Penalty killers. Casper out there with Johnston. Bork and Milbury. Randy Carlisle wraps it in. First on it, Neufeld. So Boschman broken up. Casper starts out. Way to Bork. He's on the attack. Goes for a shot. A save by Bethion. Shot number 13 for Boston. A lead pass for Boschman. He missed it, but then gets it after Larson blocked it. Larson trying to clear it. Goes into the stands on a face-off call. 1:07 left on Bob Sweeney's penalty.
Doug Smale, the hat trick, his first NHL career hat trick. He played in his 450th game a little bit earlier this season. And granted, he's more of a checking forward than a scoring forward, but you'd expect maybe a hat trick to come sooner for Doug Smale.
He's not out there now. Steen is at left wing. Of course, Smale is a penalty killer, so Maloney is thinking of that. Winnipeg starts with defense, and it's been effective tonight. Larson works it to center ice, and Foster is able to clear it down. 45 seconds left. Middleton checking deep. Manoir gets it. Trying to come out. It is Foster and Middleton up front with Larson and Peterson for Boston. Manoir works it over the line for Steen. Back for Olsen. Good looking rookie defenseman. Manoir, the shot blocked, and Middleton starts it out with Larson. Over the line, in for Larson. He couldn't cut in. Cuts back, has a threat. Drops it off for Peterson. Peterson, a shot and a save. Bethune. A shorthanded bid by the Bruins. This long pass to McLean, looked offside. They let it go. Steen has it. Back for Waters. Waters in for Steen in the corner. Played it behind the net for Howardchuk. Full strength Boston. Puck back to Carlisle. Carlisle moves it up the boards. Howardchuk checked by Bork. Howardchuk. Peterson going for it. Foster trying to clear it. Can't. Kept in by Steen. Drops it now for McLean. McLean broken up by Bork. Goes to the corner. Gets it around the other side. And Sweeney out. And he's able to clear it away to relieve the pressure. 7:20 left. Third period. 5-1 Winnipeg. And Waters starts back and drives it in. Takes a weird hop in front for Bork, though, who clears it up to Crowder. Crowder. Linsman. Over the line with Simmer. Or rather, Jay Miller at left wing.
They've often been confused, Fred. Honest mistake.
Jay Miller keeps it in. The Linsman in the corner. He's checked by Kite. Takes a rapid Kite. Miller behind the net. Trying to make the play in front. Can't do it. Into the corner goes Crowder. Broken up, and it is cleared away by Rooney. Steve Rooney, the left winger on this line. Now Marois starts it back. Up for Rooney. Rooney firing in deep. Knocked away by Keynes to Telvin as the Bruins started out. Up for Miller, too far, but here's Johnston. Across for Neely. In. Stop. Never really made the complete play that Neely can. Had a little problem controlling it, but he was in all alone. Right on Bethune. And at the Boston end, it is Peterson broken up. And right back. As Alan Peterson lost it, Boschman fired it home to make it 6-1.
Well, there are going to be these nights during the course of an 80-game season. Good to get out of your system. Alan Peterson, who got burned earlier, fell down, lost control of the puck here, and Laurie Boschman was in the right place at the right time and finished off the play. Peterson trying to get away from the forechecking of Neufeld, slips and falls. Boschman, forehander, and it's 6-1.
Unassisted on that one by Boschman. So another line gets on the board for the first time for Winnipeg. Back is Larson, checked by Boschman. It's kept in by Turnbull, lost to Courtnall. He's out with Foster. Over the line. Fires in deep. Simmer. Milbury. Pass in front. Simmer trying to move with it. Fires. Beautiful save. Bethune. Going down, but that glove picked it off on Simmer. And with the score, Winnipeg 6, Boston 1. Let's pause for this message.
going over, but hey, why take chances? What a quick glove by Berthiaume. Charlie Simmer hit a rising dot.
Dwight Foster out with Courtnall on the left. Simmer with him, and it's back to Telvin. Walks right in and scores! Michael Telvin off the faceoff from Dwight Foster, and the Bruins get their second goal.
Well, a little something for Telvin to carry over into tomorrow night's game against Minnesota. That pleases a few of the Bruin fans here in the Winnipeg Arena. On the draw, back to Telvin, and now no one makes a move for him. Mario Marois starts a little late.
Telvin clears it in wide now, 5:16 left. And Marois slams it out to the Boston zone. They announced an added assist on one of Smale's goals, and I think it gives Paul McLean a goal and 4 assists on the night. Foster out. Now to Courtnall. Forced to wind up again at center ice. Clear it in as he's checked by McBain. And Kite just drops it out. Milbury stopped on the play. The puck drifts in, and back for it is Reed Larson. Able to clear it outside the line. Winnipeg leads 6-2. The shot stand 30 Winnipeg, 17 for Boston. Telvin from Foster on that last one. Nil. Wilson. Shot to save. A backhander to save again as Wilson moved for 2. Puck kept in. Along the line by Amel. Now to Nil. Back for Wilson. This is the checking line, and they look like Gretzky and company. Amel wheels in the zone. Lets it go. Saved by Keens. They ripped off about 3 there. Back comes Casper. A shift on Carlisle. Trying to move it in front for Marquardt, and he stopped on the play by the Winnipeg defense. And right back comes Wilson again with Rudy. The shot just missed by Wilson. Bork gets it away to Marquardt. Wheeling out center ice. Crisscrossing with Sweeney. 3 Jets are back, though, and Marquardt can't move it over the line as Rooney clears it away. Bork fires one in. Berthiaume the save. 3:30 left, third period. It is 6 for the Jets and 2 for the Bruins. Winding up now, Tallene. Long one for Crowder. Crowder for Jay Miller. Miller going deep. Checked on the play by Olesen. In to get it. Crowder looking for Linsman, cutting for the net. And the play broken up, and Howardchuk is out. Drives it in wide of Doug Keens. 3 minutes left now. Out comes Linsman. Can't set up Keith Crowder. Marois forced deep by Miller. Can't clear it. Tallene drives it back in. Berthiaume blocks it. Bounces near the net. Tied up. Then went loose, but the whistle had blown. Hand pass called by Gregson. And in the third period, the score, Winnipeg 6 and Boston 2. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment. On the right, Rick Middleton on the left, with Reed Larson and Mike Milbury. Boschman wins the draw. Turnbull winding up. Safely to Neufeld. And he gets it out to center ice in the Boston line. Loose puck picked up by Neufeld. Over the line. Check. Middleton trying to move it away. A bouncing puck. Larson out to center ice. Neely. A shift. Over the line. Middleton breaking in. Backhander. Hit the post. To the left of Berthiaume as Cam Neely made a good play at center ice to send Middleton in for a pretty good opportunity. But Rick, a right-hand shot on left wing, has to go for the backhand. Loose puck. Larson, he's over the line now with Johnston. Drops it for Gregg. Gregg wraps it in deep. But Ellett takes over. 1:55 left. Ray Bourque at center ice. Forced back by Turnbull. Peterson for Foster, who set up the Telvin goal off the faceoff. Got the pass in. Broken up by Ellett. Can't clear it. Kept in by Foster. Drops it for Bourque. Look, a shot. Save Bethlehem in a screen as Simmer was hauled down on that one. And a penalty on Winnipeg. Courtnall goes down. Oh, he may be calling either of the two, but Simmer was wiped out in front.
I think Olsen is going to get the call, Fred. And it'll give the Bruins a power play with 1:29 left to go. Olsen for holding Raymond. Using Howard-Chuck as a screen. And right there, Charlie trying to get a stick on it, but Olsen has a pretty good grasp on him. Puck finally touched up by Olsen, and they blow the whistle for the penalty to be called. Fred, it's a moot point, and was when Smale scored his first of two this period, his second of the night, made it 4-1. Pretty much over, but a good sign is that the Bruins have not stopped skating. They've kept working, and hopefully this is something that can carry over tomorrow night. Maybe they can get a fast start in Minnesota. Maybe pick up a win and take off.
11 shots by the Bruins in the third period. And in the first two, they had only 9. Foster is out with Courtnall and Simmer. The draw to Bork. Power play into Foster. Back for Courtnall. Shot. Save. Bethlehem. Loose puck. And the clear, but a quick whistle here. That stunned Bethlehem. And Gregson blew the whistle.
Well, he appears to be all right. He took it high. Here's the shot. Courtnall has such a great hard drive. Bertio took that just under the chin. Gregson lost sight of it and blew the whistle. John D'Amico is saying, hey, you okay? Bertio says, yeah, let's just drop the puck. We've got 1:23 to go. Let's get on with it.
Buffalo upset the Rangers 6-3 in New York, and Detroit beat Quebec. So Buffalo inches up some more. Face off now to the left of Bethlehem. 1:23 left. Jets will be shorthanded, but they get control. And Marois clears it out. Obviously, their great defense starts with their penalty killing. Wilson, one of the key players on it. He's out there now. Here comes Courtnall over the line. May bear right in, and he spilled on the play as he put it near the net. Back at the point, kept in by Telvin. A shift. Gets it to Foster. Foster away to Bork. Bork in deep. Courtnall in front. Foster can't get it. It's in his skates. What for on the boards? Kept in right point by Bork. Height breaks it up on Foster. And the control to Wilson. And he clears it down. We're down to 35 seconds left. 6-2 Winnipeg. Bruins on a power play. Telvin, who has a score, is over the line, along the line. Pass up, stopped by Carlisle. Winnipeg had everybody covered. Cam Neely starts the play now. This could be icing, though. Racing for it, Middleton. And Waters able to touch it first. It escapes. 13 seconds left. Face-off in the Boston end. Shots 33 Winnipeg, 21 for Boston. Jets lead 6-2.
Well, that Buffalo win, Fred, also not only moves Buffalo to within 6 points of Quebec, but it also gives them a little breathing room with Vancouver. Although the Canucks are leading the Capitals tonight out at the Pacific Coliseum 1-0 first period. And let's not forget New Jersey. Well, the Devils have gone to the whip here at the head of the stretch. They're closing in on Vancouver.
Buffalo has 2 games in hand on Quebec. As we're looking at the final playoff spot, Adams division, Larson clears it in. Wide of Bethlehem. The game is just about over. And it's out to center ice, and that's it. And the Jets come through with a very solid 60-minute performance. A hat trick by Doug Smale. One line accounted for 5 of the 6 goals. And Paul McLean, a goal and 4 assists. And so the final score is Winnipeg 6, Boston 2, Bruins hockey on TV 38. Will continue in a moment.
Orr had a cultural impact, transcending his game. The rage his big bad Bruins excited infected the region, making passionate fans of people who thought icing was something that happened to your windshield. Everyone was a fan. There was a fascination with every detail of the art, be it the sharpening of the skates or the cleaning of the ice. It was a rare time for hockey. No single flash frame in the history of this building remains more vivid than the moment Orr fluttered through space after slipping the puck past the Blues' Glenn Hall.
You really don't think it's ever going to end. You really get caught up in that moment. I mean, this whole area was just crazy. Hockey rinks bloomed everywhere, and there was just such an aura about that period of time that it just smelled success for everybody.
If indeed everything must end, this epoch rang out much sooner than was fair. The night, many years later, that they raised Orr's jersey to the rafters, he still seemed a youth. And it's agonizing to consider that had he been blessed with good knees, he might still be playing.
Thank you very much.
The ritual was repeated in the honoring of Phil Esposito, a last ceremonial coda to a wonderfully raucous era. Hockey and the Garden, the linkage of an iron-willed winter game and a stubborn region. It has run from Shore and Thompson and Schmidt, on through Orr, Esposito, Busick and Chivas, and down to the Borks, Neelys, and Jannies of today. Bound by tradition, lovers of ritual, believers in a severe ethic, hockey players are the most sentimental of all sports people. They will miss this place the most.
The Bruins were having their usual Monday morning workout. The usual guys were in attendance, and Coach O'Reilly was running through some of his usual drills. But there were a few spectators at this practice who aren't usually there, and they had anything but the same old thing on their minds. Monday was the annual Bruins Kids Christmas Party, and this crew couldn't wait to get on with the festivities. It's an opportunity for the players, their wives, children, and friends to gather with other members of the Bruins organization for some holiday merriment. And it's at times like these when we remember that Christmas is for the little kid in all of us. The children in attendance received a present from Santa Claus, but old St. Nick had not yet finished gathering gifts for all of the Bruins players, and he knew just who to ask for some ideas.
Well, what does your daddy want from Santa Claus this year?
Fishing.
A new set of golf clubs.
New t-shirt. I'm a puck with the face of the Santa Claus. I'm a watch. I don't know. A new stadium.
Santa got his gift ideas. The kids had a chance to make light. And from the folks at the Garden, a Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.
Merry Christmas to one and all. From the Bruins.
And from all of us here at TV 38 as well, a very Merry Christmas to you and yours. At the end of one period tonight, the Bruins trailed a goal from Keith Crowder to get by the fading Pittsburgh Penguins 6-5. Now, the Bruins went up early in the first period. Some great passing, and this shot right here by Cam Neely and Rick Middleton put the Bruins up 3-1. Mario Lemieux's first goal of the game would tie it at 3, and then this one right here, his second of the night, would put Pittsburgh on top 4-3. But Reed Larson would score on a scramble in front on a power play and tie the game at 4. Into the third period we go. One more time, it's that menace, Mario Lemieux again behind the net, just fights through to stuff one past Billy Ranford. 5-4 game. Pittsburgh leads it, but 29 seconds later, Cam Neely ties it.
A lead for Middleton with Neely. But a score by Neely, set up by Rick Middleton. Clears it over the line. Linsman hustling in on Mantha, drops it for Simmer. In and brilliant play by Linsman.
Unbelievable. Bruins would win it. And then, of course, at the buzzer,
the mayhem. We've seen this before. We'll dump out of this and tell you the final score was Bruins 6, Pittsburgh 5.
In front by 2 goals, and I think we had a little bit of a lapse. We thought that it was going to be an easy game, and Mario and his power play got them back in the game, and it was a dogfight right till the end.
All right, Reggie Lewis of Northeastern became the all-time leading scorer in New England college basketball history tonight. 34.
So much in your intro.
Mario Lemieux, truly a sensational player. 3 goals, 2 assists tonight, but it wasn't enough. The Bruins beat the Penguins 6-5 in a wild one tonight. This power play goal by
Lemieux on the rebound. Can't clear it.
Is after the game is over after this one. All this took place, the big brawl, after the game. There's no time left on the clock. No time, and then they go at it. But then in the locker room after the game, we got the reaction. They really had a lot to say, believe me. The Bruins beat the Penguins 6-5. Everything else is still going on.
We're kind of surreptitiously taking a look at what was going on. Hey, just another quiet night at Boston Garden this evening, but don't tell the mayor what happened. He'll have the bees behind bars by sunup. The Bruins and Penguins divided up 11 goals tonight. Boston getting the lion's share, fortunately. Mario Lemieux put on an offensive clinic. He might say offensive clinic. And then there was an end-of-the-game all-skate that everybody took part in. Where do we begin? Where, oh where? Well, how about Rick Middleton's first period power play goal off the Cam Neely rebound for a 3-1 Boston lead. Somebody cue Mario for the hat trick.
In for Ruskowski. Back. Roger. Save. Score by Lemieux on the rebound. Quinn wraps it back in. Save. Rebound. Buskus wrapping it back in. Lemieux operates behind the net. He wheeled it back in front and scored on a fantastic play. Hat-trick for Lemieux from behind the net.
Pretty impressive, huh? Pens up 5-4. Seconds later, Cam Neely converts a 2-on-1. His 22nd of the year. The hockey game is tied at 5. Stayed like that till 19:07 of the third. Hustle by Lindsman. Crowder, the game winner. 6-5. The Bruins put 2 points in the bank. But not before the bench-clearing fracas breaks out at the end. Jay Miller and Dan Frawley, the main event here. No doubt this videotape will surface tomorrow morning at Mayor Flynn's violence hearing at City Hall. Hey, see you later, Mario Lemieux. 3 goals and 2 assists tonight. A lucky fan gets the stick, and after the game, he made it clear.
Big plays for my team, but it's hard when you lose like this, when you have a big night like this, 5 points, and you don't win the game.
Shoot out of the OK Corral. Looked like whoever would get the last shot would probably get the win.
Yeah, we were lucky. Could have gone either way, and we got a good bounce at the end, and we won the hockey game. And, can't take anything away from Pittsburgh because they were down, and they didn't quit, and they came back, and they're a hard-working club.
Lemieux figures in all 5 goals. 6-5 Bruins win in the third. St. Louis leads Calgary 2-1.
Boston police ought to go right out on the playing fields and the rinks of the courts of Boston and arrest professional players for fighting. News Center 5's Shirley McNerney has a report.
The puck is down.
As it turns out, last night at the Bruins-Penguins game, there was yet another bench-clearing fight. But less than 24 hours later, Bruins general manager Harry Sinden would tell a city council hearing that making arrests on the ice was not the answer. He said he was arranging for the mayor to meet with the National Hockey League leadership.
We're ready to cooperate fully with the council and the mayor's office, whatever your decision.
Asked later what would happen if police did try to make arrests, Sinden said,
In my wildest dreams, I can't envision what would happen and where the cuffs put on a player at mid-ice.
There are those who argue that violence is a natural part of hockey and that shoving on ice is not as bad as it looks, at least not as dangerous as shoving on land. But the thrust of the arguments today was that using the police was ridiculous.
Imagine arresting Ray Bourque and other players. The fans would cause an outright bedlam if this were to happen at the Garden. Let's not make the Boston police look like fools.
I think it's somewhat embarrassing to even be proposed to be consuming our time and attention here today. An argument.
There are those who disagree, but the galleries were empty today. The hearing only lasted an hour, and City Council President Bruce Bowling said that what he really wanted to do was to get the discussion going.
The real solution to this is going to be with the leagues. It's going to be with the owners. It's going to be with the managers.
This particular ordinance may not have the support it needs next week when it comes up for a vote, but the discussion has started. The concern has been voiced. This may be only the beginning. In Boston, Shirley McNerney, News Center 5.
These concerns is by cooperation between the mayor's office, the teams, and the appropriate leagues.
Council President Bruce Bowling proposed the ordinance but got no support from the front line of the Government Operations Subcommittee hearing the ordinance, or from the fans, or from the mayor, who first suggested sending Boston's finest slip-sliding after hockey combatants.
Everyone who testified is concerned about escalating violence.
This could get ugly. And some Bruins got the first word following last night's melee.
We do a lot of work in the community, and I don't think we're trying to put any bad examples to young kids.
It's a situation in hockey where, I guess, fighting is allowed, and sometimes it happens because of the physical contact.
Well, I hate to win the Stanley Cup, but I'll show up in handcuffs in the parade.
Now you got nothing but trouble. With or without an ordinance, Mayor Flynn and Bruins and NHL officials plan a meeting February 15th in New York on the subject of hockey violence. Greg Wayland, the New England News.
A spokesman for the mayor's office said that Mr. Flynn does not think that this ordinance is necessary because he said the city already has the power to arrest athletes who engage in physical violence. But the City Council Government's Operations Committee is expected to vote its recommendation on the proposal next.
And now Dennis Johnson.
It is only an occasional sideshow on the basketball court, a bit more frequent in the game of baseball. But violence has become so routine in hockey that one comedian has joked, "I went to the fights last night and a hockey game broke out." The mayor of Boston isn't laughing.
People don't have licenses, whether it's on the ice at the Boston Garden or it's at the Opera, to go around violating other people's constitutional rights.
The mayor feels so strongly about the issue that he's threatening to send in police to arrest any professional athlete who mixes amateur boxing with professional play. But in the chilly air of Boston Garden, his high-minded proposal is getting a cool reception.
I think having policemen at these kind of sports games is just going to take away from the game itself.
The hitting is part of the excitement. It's always been there, so you might, let them play, let them continue to do what they've always done.
This is a great vote getter. The only problem is everybody laughed instead of frowning. They thought it was funny.
Let's not make the Boston police look like fools.
And at a recent Boston City Council hearing to consider turning the mayor's proposal into law, the prevailing opinion was negative from the politicians and the general manager of Boston's hockey team.
In my wildest dreams, I can't envision what would happen where the cuffs put on a player at mid-ice.
Now we got a fight.
Nor can most Bostonians imagine police hauling off one of their champion Celtics who sometimes engage in fisticuffs, or police arresting one of their ill-fated Red Sox in or out of Fenway Park.
As a message to the sports community, it's a very important idea. As a practical vehicle for bringing about change, I think that has to come from the leagues, from the teams, and from the players' associations themselves.
The National Hockey League has upped the ante for conduct like this by increasing penalties. But despite that gesture, hockey violence now seems to be spreading to college play, as evidenced by this bloody bench-clearing brawl in Minnesota this week.
Where we have tolerated violence